For a long time, my life was an endless loop of planning. I'd wake up early, make lists, set short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals, organize them, prioritize, reevaluate, and by the end of the day, I hadn't done anything. I was an expert at planning, but a total rookie at acting. Everything had to be just right before I could start. The perfect moment, the ideal place, the right motivation, the exact energy. And of course, that moment never came. The result? I was stuck, paralyzed, and the most ironic part, exhausted from not moving forward. I remember one night in particular. I was sitting in my room, surrounded by notebooks full of ideas, mind maps, schedules, even colorful spreadsheets I had made to organize my perfect routine. Everything there was technically brilliant. I had step-by-step guides for a new career, a powerful morning routine, even a full strategy to quit social media and live more in the present. But when I looked at all that, I felt empty, because deep down I knew I wasn't living. I was planning to live. It was like rehearsing a play that would never be performed. That's when I realized something very clear. Life doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It happens while you're busy trying to predict every scenario. And I was trapped in a comfortable trap. Planning gave me a false sense of control but kept me frozen. Acting, on the other hand, required courage. It demanded failure, adaptation, learning along the way. And I wasn't ready for that, or at least I thought I wasn't. The next day I made a decision. Nothing grand, nothing cinematic. I just thought, today I'm going to do one thing I've been postponing. And I picked something simple. Publish. A personal project I had been polishing for months. It was far from perfect. But I published it. No final review, no strategic timing, no overthinking. I just acted. And that small action, that drop in an ocean of plans, changed everything. Because from that moment on, I understood that real progress comes from movement, not foresight. A plan is useless without action, and the best plan in the world is worthless if it never leaves the paper. I started to create a new habit. Every time my mind pulled me into another planning session, I asked myself, what can I do now? Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. That simple question became my compass. And the most incredible thing was seeing how much I advanced when I stopped trying to map every step. When you start acting, you realize the path reveals itself as you walk. And many of the obstacles you feared don't really exist. They were just in your head, created by overthinking and lack of exposure to reality. Sure, it was uncomfortable at first. I felt exposed. Acting without a perfect plan felt irresponsible. But little by little, I understood perfectionism is just fear in disguise. Fear of failing, looking amateur, not being good enough. And I also understood something else. Planning too much was a way to protect myself. While I was preparing everything, I didn't have to face criticism, failure, or the possibility that maybe I wasn't as good as I thought. But only when you throw yourself into the world do you really grow. I started experiencing this in many areas of my life. In health, for example, I used to spend hours watching videos about ideal workouts, perfect diets, biohacks. But nothing changed because I did nothing. One day I just put on my sneakers and went for a walk. Just that. I came back the next day, and the next. And before I knew it, my routine had changed, without complicated plans. The same happened with my creative projects. I had 1,000 ideas saved, waiting for the perfect moment to start. But that moment never comes. The truth is, it's an illusion created by fear. So I started without more. With insecurity, doubts, everything messy. And to my surprise, people connected more with the real than with the perfect. And before I knew it, my life became a series of small, constant movements. It's not about doing everything right, but about doing something. With every step, I gained clarity. And with clarity, confidence. And with confidence, action. It became a virtuous cycle. Everything started flowing. Of course, that doesn't mean abandoning planning completely. Planning is still important. But now I only plan the essentials. The rest I discover along the way. Because if there's one thing I learned, Action generates more learning than any theory. You can read all the books in the world about swimming, but you only learn when you jump into the water. Today, when I look back, I see I was addicted to control. And living is not control, it's presence. It's trying, failing, adjusting. Life is dynamic, and those who wait for all certainties before moving end up watching life from the stands. I decided to get on the field. I decided to play. And even though I fail, stumble, and sometimes miss, I feel alive. The funny thing is, when you start acting, anxiety drops, because your focus moves from the imagined future to the now. You stop living for an unreachable ideal and start moving with what you have. And that, by itself, is freeing. Today, I understand that real transformation doesn't come from big leaps, but from small, consistent steps. It's not doing everything at once, but doing something every day. And the more you act, the more you understand you don't need to be ready. You just need to be willing. So if I could go back in time and give myself one piece of advice, it would be this. Stop trying to control the future. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Just start, however you can, with what you have, with fear, without knowing what will happen next, because the only way to find out is by doing. And the truth is, no one knows what they're doing 100%. We're all improvising, failing, adjusting, and that's okay. That's life. The difference is some start and others wait to feel confident. But confidence, ironically, comes after action. That's how my life changed. Not overnight. Not with an epic transformation. It was quiet, almost invisible, but real. One day I stopped planning the perfect life and started living the possible life. And I discovered it was much richer, more intense, and more real than any script I could have written. And maybe that's what you need now. Stop planning so much and just start. One step, one gesture, one action that, even if small, can be the beginning of everything.